So we're continuing on. Now we're to problem 51. So 51, we're looking at this statement. P, if P, then not Q, then not P, and not R. Okay, and again, what we know is that P is false, R is false, and Q is true based on what we have written down. So we're going to write, we have P, Q, and R. How about to sneeze? So prepare yourself. So let's just write what we have. We have P, we have Q, we have R. We need not P for here. We need not Q. We need not R. Okay, I'm going to go down here because we're running out of space. We need P, then not Q. We need not P and not R. And then we need the final thing that we have there. So we know that P is false, Q is true, R is false. So not P is true, not Q is false, and not R, that should be not R. Not R is true. Okay, now we take P, then not Q. False, false. So that's true. Then we have not P and not R. Well, and both have to be true for it to be true. So this is true. And then we have this, if this, then that. Well, this is true, so the whole thing should be true, which is the answer. Okay, onward to the next section of problems. And hardest time with that little cursor, I can't see it these days. So we're going to do 54, and these are truth tables, I think. Construct a truth statement involving conditional, conjunction, disjunction, negation. Yeah, let's skip that one. So let's go to 55 instead. So we're constructing a truth table, and really it's just like we've done previously, except in this case we have a different, we have one additional operation that we know how to do, but we know what the truth table is. So 55 is not Q. If not Q, then P. So just like we have in the past, we make a table up, and we have two variables. So we take 2 to the second power is 4. So we need 4 rows plus 1 for the header. So I need 5 rows. So let me get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, and then columns. Well, before I do those, we need P, we need Q, we need not Q, so that's 3, and then we need this thing. So we just need 4 columns, 5 rows. Make sure I'm doing this right here. 4 columns, 5 rows. Okay, there we are. Bring that up. So we have P, Q, not Q, and then we have not Q, then, pardon me, that's wrong. So we have not Q, then P. Okay, now we populate it in the exact same way that we've done previously. So we do half of these true, half of these false. And because there's only 4, it's 2 and 2. For the last one, we just alternate. True, false, true, false. Okay, next thing is negation of Q, so it becomes false, true, false, true. And then we have this, if this, then that. So we got to make sure we do the right order. This is the first, even though it's the second column, it's not the first column. We just have to do this. So we have false, then true. Now, the only time these two are going to definitely be true, because if the first statement is a false, then the result is true. So those two are true. Now, here it's only if this is true and that's false, is the statement false. So we have true, true, so that's true. And then we have true, false, which is false, using the conditional. Okay, so that's right. Let's just add a new page. So we're going to do 58. And our statement is not Q, then, if not Q, then not P, then not Q. So we only have two variables still, so it's going to be 5 columns because we need the header row. We're going to need P and Q, not P and not Q. So that's 4. We need this, which is 5, and then we need the whole thing, which is 6. So we're going to need a table that is 5 by 6. 5 by 6. There we go. And move that up, stretch it out a little bit. P, Q, not P, not Q, not Q, then not P, and then the final expression here. True, true, false, false. True, false, true, false. Okay, that was just spelling them out. Then we take the negations of P, which is false, false, true, true. So true, true, false, false. Here we go again, false, true, false, true. Okay, now we do an operation, which is an if-then statement. So we're going to do if this, then that. So again, the two that have falses as the first element are definitely true. This is false because we have true, false. And then we have true, true, which is true. Then what we're going to do is we're doing this versus not Q. So we're comparing these two columns. This is the first thing, this is the second thing. So we have true, false, which we know is a false. We have false, true, which is true. We have true, false, which is false. And we have true, true, which is true. And let me just check to make sure that's right. False, true, false, true. Okay. Let's do 61. So 61 still involves just P and Q. So we have not, if not P, then not Q. And then we have one extra step here that we have to include, P and Q. Okay, two variables, 5 columns, 5 rows, sorry. Then we have P, Q to start off with. We have not P, not Q, just like we did here. We have this, so that's 5, 6, and then the whole thing, which is 7. So we need one more column to do this problem. So we need a 5 by 7, 7 by 5, I guess. 5 by 7. There it is. Let's bring it up. Stretch it out. P, Q, not P, not Q, not P, then not Q. At first term we have P and Q, and then we have the final big long expression. True, true, false, false. True, false, true, false. Negation of this is the opposite. False, false, true, true. Q is false, true, false, true. Okay, P, then Q. So again, the only case is this where we have false. All the other ones, when you have false for the first ones, they're always true. If you have 2 trues, it's true. The only one that's false is that one. Here we have P and Q. So when you have an and, you have to have both true for it to be true. So this one's true and the rest are false. Now we're going to compare these two columns, and this is the first one, this is the second one. So again, in this if-then true table, the only one that's false is when you have true and then a false. Somebody says they're going to do something. If they're saying, if I get elected, then I'm going to do this. And if they get elected and they don't do that, then they're false. All the other ones, it's definitely true. These are the questionable ones, but we'll just accept it. Sometimes you just have to accept things. So we get true, false, true, false. So we're going to stop there, and we will come back and do some more. Okay.